Hi guys, this is Andrew and Up. These are the best casual games of the week. First up is Turf Raiders Card Battle, published by Wappworks Studio. This game looks really simple, but it's actually really fun and strategic. Each map has a bunch of these squares, and it's like a card game can use cards to summon grunts, which is the name of the characters, and the goal is to collect the required amount of gems before your opponent. So different squares generate different stuff. If you have one grunt on a square and the enemy has one grunt, then nothing will be generated, it's neutral. But if you have more grunts than them, you can generate whatever that square generates. You can generate gems to win, or the diamonds to get more action points. There's actually quite a bit of strategy involved. There's cards to remove the enemy grunts, to move your grunts, summon more grunts, or to move their grunts. I was surprised how much I enjoyed this game. It's a very fun game that will keep you occupied for a very long time. Next up we have God of Light, published by Playmous. Here's an interesting puzzle game where you shoot beams of light around. You can control the direction by holding and dragging your finger around. So you reflect light onto these mirrors, and the goal is to collect all the stars and to light up this light source to move on to the next level. The graphics are quite good, the gameplay is simple but interesting, and the levels get harder as you go on. Next up is Quest Defense Tower Defense, published by Mobcast Korea. Like the title suggests, this is a tower defense game. There's 4 different towers: Warrior, Mage, some other kind of Mage, and Archer. So the goal is to prevent enemies from going to the other side. The Warrior can summon these units to block the enemies, and the other classes have ranged attacks. It's a fairly standard tower defense game. Graphics are decent, you can upgrade your towers, and there's a lot of maps to go through. There's also some RPG elements like leveling up your skills and other stats and attributes. Next we have Max Axe, Quest for Loot, published by Changyu.com. Here's a unique endless runner where you don't actually control how your character moves, but rather how your character attacks. So your character always runs forward, but you can draw lines where you want to throw your axe. So you want to throw your axe to kill enemies and collect coins. It's fairly unique, and there's a lot more action than most endless runners. There's a lot of different kinds of enemies, and you can use coins to buy new equipment for your character. The game is worth checking out. Next up we have Bricks Breaker Friends, published by WeGo Interactive. Here's a visually appealing new Arkanoid game. Haven't played one of these in a while. It's a game where you control paddle on the bottom, and you move it around by dragging your finger, and you bounce these balls to break all the tiles. There's a ton of power-ups, there's so many power-ups in this game, and there's a lot of cool effects. It can get very chaotic, but I think that just makes the game even cooler. If you're a fan of Arkanoid, definitely check this game out. Next up we have Poser Free, published by Kickback Games. Here's a kinda interesting game where you shoot incoming enemies by spelling the word or letter above them. So you can spell the letters or words by tapping the letters on the bottom left and right. It's a lot of levels to go through. There is kinda some puzzle elements in that there's like walls that can block your way. The letters on the bottom left and right are randomly generated for each level, and they don't really correlate to a keyboard at all, which makes it much more difficult. Next we have Cristiano Ronaldo Footy, published by Digital Artists. This is like a casual soccer game. It's nowhere as good as FIFA, but it's a simple and easy to play version of it. So you can control your team with a joystick, you can pass and shoot. That's pretty much it. So you pass the ball around and shoot goals. You kind of go through levels where you play against different teams and can increase your team's stats and other stuff. It's more of a simple casual soccer/football game. Next up we have Chicken Coop Remix, published by Puppy Punch Productions. Here's a simple but fun game with good 3D graphics. Chickens and foxes are on the loose, and you gotta guide them back to their proper barn house thing. So you drag the chicken and fox to their proper locations, and you want to prevent the foxes from eating the chickens. You can also chain the chickens by matching them with similar chickens. It seems simple, but it can get very chaotic and challenging. It's a simple but interesting game. Next up we have Mini Toss, published by IGG.com. This game is like Gunbound. If you have ever played that game, you can play against the computer or other people online. So the goal is to defeat your opponents, and you do that by throwing stuff at them. So you choose an angle and how much power to use, and there's also some power-ups for additional damage. Then you throw your weapon at them, and it's turn-based, so you go back and forth until someone dies. There's quests and stuff to buy to customize your appearance. It's an okay game. And last, we have Kochadaiiyaan, Reign of Arrows, published by Vroovy. This game doesn't look like a casual game, but I'd consider it a casual game because you just go through level after level and they all pretty much look the same. This is a behind cover third-person shooter where you can move around to different covers, and you shoot enemies by going over cover, and can also zoom in. Each level looks different, but there's these same 2 covers that you go behind, and you pretty much do the same thing in every level, just killing the enemies. There's no story or anything, but it's still pretty cool. The game plays really smooth, and the controls are very responsive. Anyway, that's all for this week. Subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching.